The Habits of a Godly Woman. We are on chapter 7. It's by Joyce Meyer. I do not own the rights to the book. The Habits of Trusting God. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Proverbs 3, verse 5. A woman who develops the habit of trusting God is able to go through life with amazing peace, joy, and confidence. I have learned this through experience and am still growing in the understanding. Trusting God is a process. It's something we grow into, and our trust increases as we continue to experience His goodness and His faithfulness. Some women were raised in an atmosphere that encourages faith and trust in God, while others, like me, were not. Many of us grew up thinking we had to manage everything ourselves. In the early years of my walk with God, I had to learn to trust Him when I had a problem that seemed too big or too complicated for me to solve. Isn't that the truth? Learning to trust. This was a big step for me. Just letting go of a difficult situation and asking God to take care of it for me was a real challenge for me. It's a challenge for me too. I want to hold on to things when I should be letting go and giving it to God. But over time, I learned to let go, and I began to see that He truly can be trusted. Yes, God can be trusted. After a while, I saw that waiting for an emergency or a serious problem before I trusted God was a foolish way to live. I began to realize I did not have the ability to do anything without Him. John 15:5. God led me to realize that we are all truly powerless in our own strength. We need God in every situation, absolutely every situation in life. And we can learn to live every moment in an attitude of trust in Him. Once I recognized my need for God in all things at all times, I began to focus on learning to trust Him in every situation, not just when facing big problems. This relationship of trust comes alive through living with the attitude that God is my helper and my guide and by intentionally choosing to trust Him every day with everything, making an intentional choice. I have actually formed the habit of confessing my trust and saying, I trust You, Lord, in all things. I trust Him for the specific things I am aware of and for the things taking place in my life and in the lives of those I love. But I also trust Him for the things I do not yet know about. All things, absolutely everything, means all things, both seen and unseen, both now and in the future. One of the Bible verses that taught me to trust in God in all things is Psalm 62:8. I love the book of Psalms. Trust in Him at all times. You people, pour out your hearts to Him. For God is our refuge. Emphasis, mine. At all times. And in all things. Convey the same meaning. Neither phrases leaves anything out. Either way you say it, it leaves nothing out. Trusting God is what brings peace into our lives. If we trust Him at all times and in all things, it means we trust Him as much when we do not understand what is going on as we do when we can clearly see what is happening. We trust Him with what we know and with what we don't know. We trust Him just as much when things seem fair or beneficial for us as we do when situations seem unfair or unfavorable for us. We trust Him when everything is going well for us and when nothing seems to be going right. Trusting God involves some things we may find difficult to do. For example, it requires us to stop trying to manage or intervene in situations using our natural reasoning abilities or strength. We need to have a hands-off policy that gives God room to work. Sometimes it's easy for us to try to solve the problems and get involved in situations we think and need fixing. I do it all the time. I can do it. Don't worry. I got it. When I don't, I really don't got it. We naturally find ourselves being helpers to people around us, and our desires and God-given ability to help sometimes makes us think we need to comment, offer advice, or otherwise be involved in situations when the best approach would be for us to back off and pray, trust God to work things out. Trusting God requires patience, and being patient is something many of us are not good at. When we see that something needs to happen, we want it to happen now. When we trust God at all times, that means we also trust Him to bring forth the answers, solution, or breakthrough that is needed at just the right time. The desire for fast answers and instant gratification is rampant in our society today. Everything is instant. We have lost sight of the fact that waiting can be good for us. Waiting can help us develop the patience we need, and it provides an atmosphere in which faith and trust can deepen. When we seek instant gratification and fail to wait, we can actually thwart God's best intention for us. When we try to impose a human solution in a situation, we miss God's solution, and His way is always best. I encourage you to develop a habit of trusting God. If you have time, never be a person who has trusted Him. If you have never been a person who has trusted Him, perhaps you can start the way I did. When you have a problem, choose to release it to Him. Ask Him to take care of it for you, then choose to leave it in His hands and be patient as He works it out. Learn to say, "I trust you, Lord," several times a day. As you continue to walk with God, ask Him to help you grow and reach the point of trusting Him at all times, in all things. If you have already developed the habit of trusting God, there is always room for a greater trust and deeper faith. Keep up your good habits of trust and ask God to strengthen you in it. Although I have learned a great deal about trusting God, there are still times I am tempted to try to handle a situation myself instead of letting Him have it completely. Of course, my efforts do not work, and once again, I realize that I need to let go, and let God. That God can take care of the situation better than I can. And yes, indeed, He surely can. Habit builders. The Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusts in Him, and He helps me. My heart leaps for joy, and with my song I praise Him. Psalms 28, verse 7. Trust in the Lord forever, for the Lord Himself is a rock eternal. Isaiah 26, verse 4. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Romans 8:28. Thank you for joining me in chapter 7, and we'll be on chapter 8 next. Have a great day, and thanks for joining.